I was asked how to define a self-sabotaging cycle. Well, I thought a bit, why would I actually need to define something which most people kind of are experiencing, either as targets of those, or well, such people who think like that, or well, they themselves are unfortunate targets, or not targets, they themselves suffer from the such. See, maybe you've had bad parenting one way or another, or toxic relations with some of your relatives, or probably you carry certain karmic imprints from previous lifetimes of either yours or your forefathers. And don't forget, you also take upon yourself the karmic structure of your parents, yes? The misaccomplishments of their own forefathers, not just what you have suffered from in your previous lifetimes. All that somewhat structured together is needed for you to simply experience life through the physical body, that the piece of life that you are chose before you got born into this world. Now, when it comes to a self sabotaging cycle, well, it's not much of a necessity for a definition. See, a lot of people simply find comfort in some kind of misery. When that misery no longer repeats, they feel that they do not belong in something good that finally happened to them. They feel that they are no longer worthy of something that's going on in their life, and they can't comprehend it. Yes, they might end up in a relation where someone actually nurtures them, and they might feel, why is this happening? They might actually feel not comfortable because they've not experienced something like that before, and without the other person being pushy or things like that. So they will do almost anything possible to simply sabotage that situation. Yes, they will cause despair, anger, frustration, lack, even. They will probably, one way or another, exhaust the other person. Yes, it doesn't matter what gender the each of them is. Yes, this is something that doesn't matter. That doesn't care about one's genders, whether imagined or real. This is misery. Misery does not care about your nationality, your concepts, your religion, or anything else. Misery functions based on its same principles, whether you're a man or a woman. Some differences, slight here and there, might be, but when you look at miserable people, depending on what kind of specific aspects, cycles, let's call them, they're suffering from, you will see the behaviors are not much of a difference, whether they're men, children, or, well, women, or whatever else they imagine themselves to be. So, such people end up sabotaging everything that they're not comfortable with, right? See, when I look at life, I see that there are two major types of people. There are the people that I call as the war people, yes, or chaos people. And there are the peace people, okay, or the calmness. Well, I usually call them peace people, yes. And these two are of a separate way of being. They can correlate, but they cannot coexist. I also call them poison people and, well, medicine people, but that's, well, another way of putting it. See, chaos people, they always find their comfort in everything that can go wrong, everything that doesn't fit them, everything that is somewhat against them. Because these people are enemies, first and foremost, of what they are supposed to be. They are an enemy of what being a human is. They are an enemy of what morality would be, and not morality written in a book. If you're not capable of understanding your human morality, and you only rely on a book, well, honestly, you're having a few doo-doo problems, but, well, those can be resolved. If not, well, a certain kind of suffering will occur in life. Because if you're in a friction with what being truly a human is, obviously you will suffer. Not because I would want it, not because anything would want it, but just because cosmos functions that way. The more you stray from what you are, the more depressed you will feel, and you'll feel what path to take when you finally feel good, but without any distractions, without any defense mechanisms and the such. Chaos people are always at war with everyone, with everything. They will just be consumers, they will just be distractors, they will be disruptors. To these people, you will never be a friend. They will never be your friends. You can be a friend to them, but you're never gonna be a friend anyways. You're only gonna be a good distraction in the chaos of their life. Yes, just that. At most, you're gonna be a distraction because you can provide them with some distraction from the pains that they have. Yes, they have to maintain dozens, hundreds, probably thousands of cycles of misery and all sorts of imaginations and concepts and things that will happen for sure in the future or might happen, and they have to constantly keep themselves ready for that. Yes, they are the embodiment of everything that can go wrong, everything chaotic. These people would even be capable of killing you if you get too close to them, if you even make them feel any sort of emotion or feeling. Yes, depending on the scale of chaosness that these people might have. You have to understand some of these people are such at a war, technically, with what being a human is, that they are technically not even human. You've been taught that a human is someone that has a soul. That is as wrong as can be. Now, it depends on what you decide that soul can actually mean. If you're thinking about the fact that they have little to no consciousness within them, yes, that is exactly what chaos people would be at their epitome. They are nothing else but slaves of the few compulsions that exist in this cosmos. Yes, these compulsions exist within each and every living being that has at least a slight bit of connection to the idea of consciousness. Yes, and everyone will connect to some of these depending on their own level. Yes, it's not that you connect through some kind of bind or through some kind of link. It's just that you allow those to manifest, to exist, let's say, to function. Let's say to function within you. They automatically function depending on your own level of awareness. These people usually will proliferate at wars, at separation, at causing pain in others, at exploiting anything that is a structure within themselves, that, challenge and destroy everything that would be rendered as important, holy, or, well, have any kind of appeal to someone else. Yes, you can see these kinds of people, the epitome of such kinds of people in narcissists, maybe in some psychopaths, some sociopaths, and, well, obviously Zionists are the epitome indeed. The calm people are those who have gone through wars of their own minds, maybe even on the battlefront, and maybe even emotional, and or why not altogether. These are people who have discovered the importance of peace, the importance of living away from others, at least for a certain period of time, but not necessarily entirely away from them. Maybe some of these are capable of keeping a certain connection with other people and not running necessarily away from them. Such of these people, they will always value the peace that they can have, the peace that they can embrace. These people are those usually who no longer suffer from the majority of cycles that, misery imposes on people. Because misery, in a way, you can take it as a punishment, but it's not a divine punishment. It is your own stupidity that turns your intellect against you. Yes, this is the only definition that you might want to know. When you're suffering from self destructive cycles, it is your own stupidity that limits your intellect and turns it into a weapon against your own self. So, hopefully, this video raised a bit of awareness. You're appreciated. Take care, enjoy life, and this being said, Ferenjan Board signing out.